and welcome to the eFresh.com Fish and Seafood News. My name is Kim and these are this week's headlines. Shellfish threatened by rising levels of CO2. High seas force fishermen into farming. Thousands of fish die in Baltimore Harbor. Vietnam seafood exports see growth. Season's first Copper River salmon delivery. In a new research, scientists have discovered that shellfish are threatened from rising levels of atmospheric carbon dioxide, also known as CO2, that contribute to the acidification of open ocean. For shellfish and other organisms that have calcium carbonate shells and structures, the problem begins when atmospheric CO2 dissolves in seawater and creates carbonic acid that is then rapidly transformed into carbonate and bicarbonate ions in the water. For many calcifying organisms, CO2-induced acidification poses a serious challenge because these organisms may experience reduced rates of growth and calcification that, when combined with other environmental stresses, could spell disaster. Prolonged bad weather whipping up huge waves out at sea in Indonesia and constantly declining catches has forced hundreds of fishermen along the coast of Bantul, Yogyakarta, to turn to farming to make ends meet. Because of the bad weather, the fishermen didn't go out to sea all week. Almost all fishermen here have not fished since May 22nd because of waves reaching 3 to 5 meters in height. Besides the high waves, whatever catches have been made in the past month have been paltry, causing the fishermen to suffer huge losses. To earn a living, lots of fishermen have turned to farming, growing vegetables. Most of the fishermen will go out fishing again if the weather turns back to normal. In the United States, a seasonal algae bloom is believed responsible for the recent deaths of more than 3,000 fish in Baltimore's harbor. Department spokeswoman says the harbor tends to get a large boom of the algae, Porocentrum minimum, this time of year, and higher water temperatures might have triggered it to die off suddenly, causing a drop in oxygen levels. There also could be additional blooms and fish kills in other areas. The dead fish, primarily menhaden, were mostly congregated around the Domino sugar plant at Locust Point. Surrounding neighborhoods reported a foul odor. Vietnam earned $6.44 billion from agroforestry and seafood exports in the first 5 months of 2009, a year-on-year rise of just 1%. Most products saw an increase in exports, but total revenue suffered losses due to falling prices caused by the current global financial crisis. The ministry's figures show that coffee exports were up 37% in volume, but down 0.4% in value, just reaching $1 billion, while pepper dropped more than 7% in earnings despite a 41% rise in volume. Forestry and seafood products exports suffered the same fate during the period, with turnovers hitting $1 billion and $1.36 billion, down 17% and 10% from the same period last year, respectively. Alaska Air Cargo delivered the season's first shipment of Copper River salmon to Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. The arrival of Copper River salmon marks the start of the summer salmon season and is anticipated by seafood lovers throughout the Pacific Northwest and beyond. Alaska Air Cargo's fish-filled freighter arrived with Copper River King and sockeye salmon from 3 seafood processors: Ocean Beauty Seafoods, Trident Seafoods, and Copper River Seafoods. At least 2 more Alaska Airlines flights will transport salmon from Cordova, Alaska, to Seattle and Anchorage, Alaska, and across the country. Thank you for watching the eFresh.com Fish and Seafood News. See you next time.